And I'm just going to cut around here to hold it in place. Put me a couple clips on it. That way I don't have to worry about it going away on there. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to go around it. Just try to cut it as even as possible. I am finally getting to the money. Money bonnet. All right. So take up all the room when I'm on the table doing my thing, and I'm just moving stuff out the way. So to open this one, I'm going to open it and I'm going to have the money side up facing me, and I'm going to sandwich these two fabrics together, but what I'm going to do is turn the shiny side towards the money. So basically, the two outer sides, hold on, I got this turned the wrong way. This way is better. Are facing each other. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my clips and I'm just going to put some clips all around the whole circle. Now, of course, I'm going to end up having to leave an opening after I make this, but I'm just going to add my little clips to it. Now, I generally don't use pins. When I started out, I used a lot of pins, but what'll happen is the pins can leave, you know, a lot of puncture holes, and then it also can, you know, just leave holes in your fabric, and it can snag the satin that you're using, so you don't really want, you know, to ruin the fabric before you get a chance to finish it. So this is one more clip. Pull this back out. And if it's wider, I generally pull this out because it's, you know, just that easier. One day. Okay, so to get this one started, of course, I always back stitch when I start, and I'm going to have to stitch all the way around the whole perimeter of this one. So yeah. Now, some people, they do go ahead and like do a gather stitch around the entire outside. You can do it that way, but I like to do mine with a straight stitch. to finish this one, I always leave an opening because I have to turn it to the right side. Now, the outside of this does have a little bit of extra fabric on it, and I can always cut that off. But one of the main things I like to make sure is that I add some type of notches to the inside of this. Those notches will make it easier and make the bonnet more functional when you turn it inside, turn it right side out. Because anything that you cut out that has like a circle, you need to have like little notches and stuff in it. So you can cut it out in like a little triangle like this and do it all the way around. Or see, that's a little sewing notch. But for this one, I'm just going to do like little straight cuts and go around, because basically it just loosens up the fabric so it can, adjust around the circle when I turn it around. And then of course you don't want to cut the thread, so just get a sharp pair of scissors to do that. So now I can turn it around. Now this is a good time that you can take it and iron it and press it down. Some people like to press the ends while it's inside out. Turn it this way so I don't have to, so I don't mess up the satin kind of way. But going around the outside, making sure everything is laid flat the way it needs to. I'm going to take some clips, and I like to make sure I sandwich the two fabrics using the clips. And honestly, this was like one of my biggest seller when I had my first Etsy page. And this one, I'm going to make sure I do the more of a like roughly looking edge. I'm reaching for clips and they gone. I think I'm about to run out. Hold on, let me slow down on how many I'm using. Okay, so that's the entire one. Let me measure it and see how wide. Because sometimes after sewing, you lose a few inches. Look at my measuring tape. I got my measuring tape. So what am I about to measure? Nothing. Either way, I just knew I was about to measure. It's all good. Let me see this measuring up here. That's the beauty of having it up there too. When you don't have your thread. Oh, so that's perfect. I can do the method that I like to do. So hopefully I got enough thread right now. I'm going to do a zigzag stitch, and my zigzag is going to be number 6. Now, I don't know. Oh, I didn't know that one. Okay. So I'm going to make that a bit wider. Let me try this stitch. I like to play with different stitches and stuff like that. Anyway, so I'm going to do a zigzag stitch because I'm going to add elastic to the middle of this one. But where my opening is, I like to start like right here on the side. And I'm going to do it about 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. Stop right there. I'm going to do a back stitch. Now this is a very interesting stitch. I've never done it before. It's quite wide. Anyway, so to close it, well not to close it, I'm going to do another stitch. And that stitch is going to be about 1 inch away from this one. That way I can create a casing for my elastic. But when I sew that one, I don't have to leave an opening. I can just go all the way around with that one because I just needed that space to be able to put the elastic in. So I'm going to go ahead and start my second one. And I do like to start it across from one that I already had. So I'm going to do that one. And I'm going to leave this a little about. The elastic that I have is 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do my best to make it 1/2 inch. so it can fit snugly. And I back stitch once I join those two zigzag ones together. I always talk about the little tool you can use. I always talk about the little tool, but every time I don't even have it nowhere close by. I gotta get my elastic right quick. Now the size of my elastic I'm gonna do is 20 inches. This is the one that I like to use. It's very stretchy. That way, yep, that's what I'm making. And so this one is gonna be 20 inches. I can use this to measure it. Thank you so much. And that's gonna be 20 inches. I was looking for my little tool thing, but I'm not gonna go look for it. I'm gonna sweat it. You don't have to use safety pins. I mean, yeah, some people they use the little it's like a little plastic looking tool. I don't even have it in front of me that you can use to do like your little, you know, elastic casings or whatever. But every time I decide to do one, I don't have it anywhere around. I'm gonna have to get it. I got a purple one. I gotta organize my sewing stuff. I got so much sewing and crafting stuff. I gotta organize it again. Okay, so I'm gonna pin one on this side, and then I'm gonna take this and put it through the casing, and I'm gonna go all the way around it. You don't need to thank me for voicing something that's a fact. The way Thank you. Okay, so go all the way around. And also, if you use the witchamajiggy, it's a little easier on your fingers when it comes to like gathering everything through. So I'm going for the ruffled effect. That was the whole purpose of me making the casing. And you can always do the regular method. Doesn't require two lines, but I don't know. I just it's something about the ruffled method that I love. I have a ruffled one on now, so yeah. I made this one a long time ago, like 4 years ago. It's 2014. I started around 2013, so this year make 11 years. No, was it 2013? No, I started 2014, so it's been 10 years. Okay, I got all the way to the other side. Do a little bit more pulling to even it out. And when I get to this side, I'm just going to basically take these two and overlap them. I agree, the ruffles do look pretty good. Yeah, yeah, I've been doing it. Yeah, I taught myself. So I gradually, throughout the years, just learned different techniques and methods. And this was just like one of the things that but I started out making like pillowcase covers and like infinity scarves. So I'm gonna overlap this about an inch or so, and I'm going to zigzag stitch all across that, and that's gonna create it's gonna make it real strong. That way you don't have to worry about the elastic popping out of it. And then I'm gonna turn it around, and I'm just gonna go back and forward across it. Then I back stitch it and stop it. That way, it look crazy on the inside, but it's secure. Now, what I have to do is join this zigzag all the way over here to this line. It's one line that's going across, and this top piece I'm going to fold inside because I have to close that out as well. And that's going to be it. Close this in. When I close the end part, I like to add my little clips to it. So that part right there is going to be a straight stitch on the end part. But I'm going to go ahead and do my zigzag one across right quick. By the way, it's really adore headband things. And I've been crocheting for about 2 years. And it's been a fun process. Though since I'm in high school, I don't have much time. So most of my projects I have done. You know what? I had a lot of projects in the beginning that were half done. and I wasn't even in high school. I think a lot of times it was just like about, time, about interest. But crocheting is like, it's crazy because certain trends just come back and forward. And crocheting was a thing that I did, a little bit here and there. Ooh, something stuck me in my foot. I might have dropped a pen somewhere. And my great grandmother used to crochet. So it's funny because, now I'm starting to see more crochet hats, and people be creative with crocheting. And the funny thing is, I don't like I can crochet, and I think I used to do one thing. I used to make like the little cow um scarves that had like the nice little buttons in the middle. I did that was the most I did with crocheting. Um it was very time consuming. So I think it's beautiful, and I think a lot of young people are getting into crocheting, and it's a good stress reliever. But yeah, that's cool. Okay, let me get my elastic in place. There we go. Okay, now I gotta do the outside line. Let me do the straight stitch right quick. And that's it. Thank you, Reba. That is it. That one is done. I'm just gonna go around and cut my little pieces of thread. Of course, everywhere. Anytime you start and stop, you're gonna have threads somewhere. And but the crazy thing is, when I did start sewing, it was like a hobby, and it was like a therapeutic thing. And I was working like really really long hours, but it was a lot of stuff that I would stop and start. But eventually, it got to the point where I was like, okay, let me finish some stuff. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I've been trying out other stuff like painting, embroidery. Ooh, embroidery is fun. You know what? This has like a little bit of embroidery features. It doesn't do a lot, like all the other machines. But that's what I like about this one, because it's a quilting one, and you can change the settings, and you can do a few numbers, and then you have all these stitches right here. Um, I do painting as well. I've been trying to get into sewing, but I don't have a sewing machine, so it's a bit of a bummer. You know what? You can always find one like on marketplace. Sometimes people are getting rid of stuff that's just collecting dust. My first one was $60, and it was practically brand new. It wasn't a I can't even get the word out. It was a basic one, but when I mastered that basic one, that's when I eventually bought me another one. If I find some cute fabrics and buy it, can I send them to you for some projects? Sure, Reba. But you know what? Just take your time. Save your money, and not only that, just check out quite a few sewing videos. Just look at, like, some of the things that you will be interested in sewing. That's kind of how I started. I kind of started like binge watching, and I watched a lot of people that were more relatable, and they made it look easy, but at the same time, they was very informative. So one of the persons that I started, I watching.